Welcome back, CSE 3200 Yukon Stores. We're in Chapter 20. We have 4 chapters in order to start and finish our third and final application, PhotoGallery, where we are going to be making network requests to fetch interesting photos from a website called Flickr and displaying them in a recycler view in this grid layout. In this video, we are going to do basic setup, and let me just lead you through some of the things we're going to do in general. Over the course of the chapter, and I anticipate about 10 videos, so a long one, our last long chapter, we are going to use a bunch of new libraries so we can make use of their tools, so we're not creating all of our code from scratch. The first part of the application, we're going to use the retrofit library to make web requests to REST APIs. Then we're going to use the Moshi library to turn JSON objects into Kotlin objects. And then finally, and this is a much shorter objective than the other two, we're going to use the Coil library to display our images in the recycler view. So as part of our setup, we are going to we're going to grab some code from our last application and just paste it in. This application, it makes use of a lot of old things that we've learned. View binding, fragments, oh, it's actually right up there. Recycler view, repository logic, logs, coroutines, model objects. What's new is all the stuff that I had shown you as objectives on the previous screen. So we're going to put in these Gradle settings, and then we are going to create a layout file for our photos for the recycler view. As you saw in the objectives, we don't get back to that for quite some time, but and we actually don't get to view binding for quite some time, but we're just setting it up. And then here's our first big piece of code. When we create our main class, our PhotoGallery fragment, we're going to put in a lot of code that we've seen before. But if you take a look at this, and I'll pause for a minute, there is a difference. Can you find it? Well, hope you did. I'll talk about it when we get there, but let's see if there's any more to this. Yes, I believe that I will end here. We'll then make our layout for our fragment attached to main activity. All right, let's get to it. So I just brought up criminal intent, and I brought up the Gradle so I can copy some stuff. But first, we're going to go File, New Project, and as always, we're selecting an empty activity. And we are going to call it PhotoGallery. I believe I already have a version called PhotoGallery on this computer, so I'm going to call this one PhotoGallery 2. And everything else should be fine. Kotlin, API 24, Android 7.0 Nougat. We hit Finish. And that automatically goes to a new window. It's over here, just loaded up. But as it's starting to load, I'm going to grab the implementation code that I need. So we are going to find Android X fragment ending in 1.55. That looks like it's right here, and it should be the next 3 down, the view model, the recycler view, and one of them is out of place. So I'll grab these 3 here. And then the fourth one that we bring in at the very beginning is this Android lifecycle with the 2.5.1. All right, let's see if it's ready on the other side. Looks okay. Go into Gradle, the build Gradle, go to dependencies, and we'll put them right here. And we'll go back and get our last one. We're going to go up here and put in build features. View binding, true. And we sync. All right, I paused, but that didn't take too long. That's good. So we are going to drill back up the Gradle scripts, hide that. We are going to right-click the resource layout folder, and we are going to put new layout resource file, and we are going to name it fragment_photo_gallery.xml. fragment_photo_gallery.xml. Let me just double check that. That looks good. In order to save ourselves some time, we are going to set the root element to recycler view. I'm going to keep the Android X part, and this little auto fill, and there we go. And then we can hit OK. And we don't have much to change in this file. We're going to go to code. We are going to, I always like to bring this down one level. We're going to put in the ID, and then that's all set. Android ID equals, in double quotes, @+ID _, and we're going to call it photo_grid. Next, we're going to make a Kotlin file for the photo gallery fragment. We're going to right-click on the .com or .com dot. So we're going to go into Java, right-click here, new Kotlin class file, and we're calling this photo gallery fragment. We're going to make it a subclass of fragment. And then we are going to set up our view binding and inflate. Very familiar code. Private var backbinding of type fragment photo gallery binding nullable. Set it equal to null, and then private val binding get pren equals check not null. Inside the parentheses, put in underscore binding. Let's see. I got some extra code in here I did not expect. Get equals check not null. That'd be why I got it. Okay. Then this last parenthesis goes. Start your curly braces, and then our prompt, our string cannot access binding because it is null. Is it visible? We are going to override fun on create view. Lots of code that we are going to keep by default. Inflator of type layout inflator. A bunch of imports are going to come in for the layout inflator, the view group, the view. Let's see, this line down here, it is going to go, but the stuff up top we're keeping. Backbinding is equal to, and in case I need the room, we're going to hit enter. Fragment photo gallery binding dot inflate. Inside the parentheses, our inflator. Next argument, our container. Next argument is false. Binding.photogrid.layout manager. The layout manager is lowercase. Is equal to grid layout manager. Expecting an import here. And no, not if I can autocomplete. First argument context. Second argument 3. So if you found it when I paused on the slides, this is our new bit of code. Last time when we made this, we did not have a grid layout manager. This is going to make it so our photos fill the screen in with 3 columns each. And then we're going to return binding.root. And done. All right, one more. So we're going to go into activity underscore main. We're going to go into the code. All of this goes. And we're going to put in Android X of type fragment. Let's see. Yep, that's good. The layout width and height are going to be set to match parent. I'm not getting the autocomplete, so let me end this, and let's see if I get the autocomplete now. I do not. So let's go above here, and let's put in the namespace, XML namespace. Let's see, I'm going to want 2 of them. I'm going to want the tools, and this one here. Not sure what the error is. I'm just going to keep going. It could be that we need a couple more required arguments, required settings in here before that error will go away. So let's put in the ID. Android ID is equal to, in double quotes, @ ID / fragment underscore container. Still no. All right. Android name is equal to com.bignerdranch.photogallery2, PhotoGallery for you probably, and then we're going to put in tools, context, and .main activity, yes. Okay, everything I expected to put in, still got an error. I'm going to have to figure out what that is. All right, it took a while to find the error that I had. Said that I did not set the layout width as the layout height. I did not have Android in front of it when it gave me the default. It wasn't there, and I missed putting it in. All right, so I did notice one other thing that I had not put in. I did not override the onDestroy. If you haven't done that, go ahead and put that in. Then we should run this, and all we're looking for is that it does not crash. And we are just going to get a blank screen with our app bar on top. And that's what we get. Okay, so that is it for video 1. We were just doing the setup. In video 2, we are going to start setting up network and talking about retrofit. So I'll see you in that video.